We're starting now, Beis Din is Baruch, Maseches Horayot. This Masechta discusses the ideas of Beis Din that gave out a psak regarding the mitzvahs of the Torah wrongly, and then they found out that they made a mistake. What is the din? Which korban they have to bring, the individual or the Beis Din or Nasi? It's mainly in Parshas Vayikra this week. We just read it this week, this Shabbos, past Shabbos. So it's highly recommended to review the Parsha, Asher Nasi Yechta, Kohen Mashiach, and Ikriv Yakol, and all these Parshas, and then we can understand this Masechta much better. Mishna starts off, Hoiru Beis Din, La'aver al Achas we call mitzvahs amuris b'Torah. The Beis Din said, Hira, authority, that you can do one of the things that says in Torah you're not allowed to do. The most typical example is they said that a certain fat of an animal is okay to eat. They did not realize that that is one of the fats that the Torah says you cannot eat. It says kol chele v'chol dam l'sechelu. Or they said a certain blood is permitted, even though the Torah says it's not permitted. And then an individual person did not know, he was ignorant, and he followed the rule of the Beis Din, of the high court. Even either they did and he did with them, means they all followed their own mistake, and this individual also with them. Not the same time. They did it on Sunday, they ate that fat, and then he went on Monday. Also, they did not do it at all. But also here, however, listen to that ruling, and that's why he ate the fat. Areze potter. All these cases, the individual person that erroneously followed the psak of the Beis Din, the ruling of the Beis Din, and he went along and ate the fat that's forbidden, this individual does not bring a korban chatas. Although there's a din that individual that's over on chayiv kerisis, on things that are chayiv kares, for example, fat and blood, the Torah says in Parshas Vayikra that you have to bring a kizba isira, a female goat or a female lamb. But since he did this because he listened to the Beis Din, he followed their ruling, we say he is potter from bringing a korban. He is exempt. He does not have to bring the korban chatas. They should tell him a Beis Din. Hoy Beis Din v'yada echad me'em shato oy talmud shehiroi lo'ira v'holch v'osal piyam. However, if the one that did it is not an ignorant man, either he belongs to Beis Din themselves, or he is Roy Leroy, he's a Talmud Chacham, he knows all the halachas of the Torah. Then Mishna says, by him, does not apply this rule. Doesn't matter what the case, if they did along, or they did not do along, or he did himself. He does have to bring a korban. He is not a one that we can say he was relying on Beis Din, because he knows the halacha himself. So he had no right to do this thing that he did. He should have known better. So he does bring a korban chatas. If you're doing it because you listen to Beis Din, you're a person that does not know any Torah on your own, you only follow what Beis Din says, then you're potter. But if you're one that you're learned and you're well versed, so you cannot say that I relied on Beis Din, because you know on your own the halachas of the Torah. Nefesh kisechto. It says nefesh achas ki sechto. So we make a drash nefesh achas sechto, but nefesh kisechto achas sechto basoisa sechto. Nefesh achas ki sechto basoisa. So it's three miutim. A Torah v'atzma chayiv, a Torah v'Beis Din potter. He used Torah atzmoi You only bring a carbon if you are doing it on your own, with your own initiative. But if you do it because you listen to Beis Din, you're potter. It should be other, it should be miyat. It says miyat twice. It's usually marba. It says, and here you say miyat achamiyat. But B'san Yerushalmi he says miyat achamiyat. Interesting Gemara. It's 3 times, so it's like negative is a miyat. 2 negatives is a positive. 3 negatives is again a negative. So it's a miyat to say that if you do on the account because Beis Din said to do, with their permission, then you do not bring a carbon chatas. He's asking a question, a general question on this whole sugya, that we say this halacha, or the person that does because he's following Beis Din, he is potter from a carbon chatas. Let's go to other cases of the Torah and see how it compares to this. If a person thinks it's chul and then meanwhile he finds out that he ate truma, so we say he has to bring a keren v'chomish. Ma'aben ha'machzik atzmei she'kohen into Yisrael she'potter. Amalei min ador harois Beis Din. It's very similar to this halacha. Just like here we say, if you did it because you followed Beis Din, you did not bring a chatas. But if you did it because you thought that this piece of chaylev is not chaylev, then you do bring. Same thing here. If you did it because you thought you're a kohen, it's not your fault. But if you did not know that this piece of bread is truma, then it's your personal fault. Amaloin afanot tzrichali. Ma bein sava shu choil nimtze Shabbos shu chayiv. Ma bein sava shu Pesach nimtze Shloma shu potter. Amalei min shoichet b'shus. It's doime to the din of shoichet b'shus. What does this mean here? What's this new question? Ma bein sava shu choil nimtze Shabbos shu chayiv. In general, halacha, if a person forgot today is Shabbos, he did a malacha, he has to bring a korban. However, if the halacha is in Mesechus Pesachim, if a person is shechting a korban on Erev Pesach, and it's Shabbos, Erev Pesach don't happen to be on Shabbos, and he thinks it's a korban Pesach, meanwhile he finds out that this animal is a shlomim, so Mishna says he's potter. Mishna says in Mesechus Pesachim he's potter. Why? He made a mistake. He bechal Shabbos for nothing, but he thought that this is a Pesach. Amalei min hashoichet b'shus. It means it's a Torah b'dvar mitzvah. He did something with permission. He was very worried that all the korbanos in the Hazara has to be shechted today because everybody has to bring a korban Pesach. So he had a reason why to make this mistake. But the person that does just a malacha, he cooks potatoes because he thinks it's Friday, and meanwhile it's Shabbos, then he has no excuse. Amaloin, again, Reb Chagya asked another question. Afa not tzrichli, ma ben sovashi muter nitz ose shu potter, ma ben sovashi chen nitz shumashi chayev. So now, he finally asked them this question that is actually our case, our Mishnah. The guy did not know that you're not allowed to eat chaylev, then he's chayev. But if he followed Beis Din, he's potter. So in other words, where do we say this is so well understood? Where does it say in the Torah such a difference? You made a mistake. Who cares if it's your own mistake or because you followed Beis Din? You're telling me it's similar to this, but where do we know this thing itself exists? What's the rationale behind this Mishnah itself? They didn't answer anything because that's like asking on a Mishna, so they couldn't answer on that. I'll tell you, it's only if he is known, it gets known to him, then he brings a carbon. Here, it's not, even if he knows it's chaylev, he's not going to do anything because he thinks chaylev is mutter. So we learn that from this drash, Hashav me the asay. If because he tell you that's why you change your mind, so okay, on this you bring a carbon. But here the knowledge is not going to change you because you heard from Beis Din that chaylev is not a problem. That's why in such a case by Beis Din you do not bring. So this is like the final. So first Rav Chagi asked them, he says, Beis Din. But now he went back to that thing itself, and then he said, this is the final pasuk where we learn out that a Beis Din Yepater. This is the end of Daf Aleph and Seches Horayot.